owner of American Jewelry and Loan, and you know him from the reality show Hardcore Pawn. Les, great to see you.
Reality TV shows you the chaos in front of the camera, but Hardcore Pawn hid something far darker behind it. Because the people we watched every week weren't just characters. Many of them were living out real tragedies the world never saw coming. Today, we're diving into 10 Hardcore Pawn members whose stories ended in downfall, disaster, or death, from shocking betrayals to lives cut short far too soon. These aren't just TV moments. They're the real stories of the people who made the show unforgettable. Number 1. Joel, Big Joe, Shannon, the protector who broke the one rule. As head of security, Big Joe was the one man nobody wanted to mess with. He escorted out violent customers, blocked threats, and kept the Gold family safe during the most explosive moments on the floor. Fans saw him as the guy who would take a punch before he let anyone near his team. But behind the scenes, Big Joe wasn't living up to that protector image. One day, the staff noticed something off. Tiny amounts of scrap gold, the same scrap Joe was supposed to secure, started disappearing. When they checked the cameras, the truth was undeniable. Big Joe was stealing from the shop he was hired to protect. The betrayal cut deep. Les Gold had trusted him. Fans respected him. Security guards aren't supposed to be the thieves. Joe lost his job instantly, and his entire image collapsed in a single moment. His downfall wasn't about the gold. It was about breaking the only rule that mattered. Don't betray the people who rely on you. Number 2. Christina, the quiet clerk who shocked everyone. For years, Christina was barely noticed, and that was her strength. She wasn't yelling at customers, fighting with coworkers, or stealing the spotlight. She was simply doing her job behind the window. But in season 8, she became the center of one of the show's most shocking scandals. Cameras caught her pocketing money during a transaction. The evidence was so direct, so undeniable, that even Christina looked stunned when Les confronted her. And unlike most reality shows where big blowups happen off camera, Hardcore Pawn showed everything. Christina was fired on the spot and arrested on camera. Viewers saw her being led out in handcuffs, a moment that turned a quiet background employee into one of the most infamous figures in the show's history. Her tragedy isn't that she was loud or reckless. It's that she threw everything away in a single, unnecessary moment. Number 3. Rich Pyle, the 25-year partnership that ended in devastation. Before he was a reality star, Rich Pyle spent 25 years at American Jewelry and Loan. He wasn't just a manager, he was practically part of the Gold family. Calm, experienced, and level-headed, he often stepped in when Les, Seth, or Ashley lost control. But fans didn't know the storm brewing underneath. Rich had long felt like the middle child of the shop, always involved, never fully accepted. The pressure between family tensions and business responsibilities built for years. Then the truth came out. Rich was accused of taking money from the company, something Les Gold took as a deeply personal betrayal. After 2.5 decades, a working relationship and a friendship ended in seconds. The firing wasn't just a business decision. It was the death of a 25-year bond that viewers once thought was unbreakable. Number 4. Carlos Deals, the beloved guard who tragically passed away. Most Hardcore Pawn scandals were about jobs lost or trust broken, but Carlos Deals' story is different, because this tragedy ended in real loss. Carlos wasn't just security on the Chicago spinoff. He was pure energy, fiery, quick-witted, emotional, and unfiltered in a way reality TV rarely gets. Fans loved his raw honesty and the way he stood up for himself, even when it meant walking out. Behind the scenes, Carlos was a father, a friend, and a man with a full life off camera. In 2014, everything came to a heartbreaking end. Carlos was found unresponsive in his home. He was only 48 years old. His death stunned fans. He was one of the few cast members whose life truly ended, leaving behind a legacy of passion, loyalty, and unforgettable TV moments. Number 5. Les Gold, the fearless patriarch, whose strength hit a breaking point. Les Gold wasn't just the owner of American Jewelry and Loan. He was the face, fire, and force of hardcore pawn. Born into the pawn business, Les spent his childhood inside his grandfather's shop, where he learned how to negotiate, read people, and turn even the toughest situations into opportunities. His confidence, booming voice, and no-nonsense attitude made the show addictive to watch. He built American Jewelry into one of the biggest pawn shops in the country, long before reality TV came calling. When Hardcore Pawn premiered in 2010, Les instantly became a fan favorite. His intense confrontations with customers, his daring deals, and his fierce love for his family made him the centerpiece of nearly every episode. But behind the unstoppable persona was a man quietly facing his own limits. In 2019, after a normal workday, Les felt sudden chest pain, a warning sign he ignored. Hours later, he suffered a massive heart attack that forced him into emergency care. The news shocked fans, especially after Seth shared the emotional update online. The man who built an empire through pressure, adrenaline, and fearlessness finally had to step back. Not because he wanted to, but because his body demanded it. Number 6. Seth Gold, the heart of the shop who paid a heavy price. Seth Gold wasn't just another cast member. He was the engine behind American Jewelry and Loan. As Les Gold's son, Seth grew up in the business, but on Hardcore Pawn, he quickly became known for something else: his sharp instincts and ability to keep the chaotic store running smoothly. While Les chased the big-ticket deals, Seth handled the pressure behind the scenes: deadlines, negotiations, schedules, and customer conflicts. But the weight of keeping the show alive came at a cost. As the seasons progressed, Seth's workload became overwhelming. He slowly began disappearing from episodes, leaving fans wondering why his presence was fading. In 2015, he made the tough choice to step away from the show, choosing his health and peace over non-stop stress. Then, tragedy struck in 2019. While riding his motorcycle in Detroit, Seth was involved in a severe accident that left him with multiple broken bones, internal injuries, and months of painful rehabilitation. The man who once ran the pawn shop with relentless energy now had to relearn basic movements, a journey that changed him forever. Still, Seth's legacy on Hardcore Pawn remains powerful. Fans remember him as the force that kept the store grounded, the mediator between chaos and control, and the one who brought balance to the Gold family dynamic. Number 7. Bobby Janiak, the workhorse who realized his worth too late. For 3 seasons, Bobby Janiak was the guy who kept the business side of the shop tight. He wasn't dramatic, he was efficient. He turned complex deals into simple wins and kept the show's financial backbone stable. But what viewers didn't know was that Bobby was doing 2 jobs at once: the real job at the shop and the TV job without TV pay. While the show skyrocketed in popularity, Bobby wasn't getting compensated like the reality star he had become. The imbalance wore him down until he finally admitted he felt used by the production. And so, he did something rare in reality TV. He walked away with dignity. Bobby rebuilt himself from scratch. Automotive spokesperson, TV appearances, voiceover artist, streamer, entrepreneur. His tragedy wasn't a scandal. It was the slow realization that fame had taken more from him than it gave. Number 8. Ashley Gold, the heir who let the family legacy die. If Les was the king of the shop, Ashley Gold was the heir apparent. Tough, smart, and more than capable of running the place. Her rivalry with Seth was legendary. Their arguments were explosive, their power struggles endless, and their dynamic fueled much of the show's intensity. But while viewers focused on the fights, Ashley was quietly asking herself a bigger question: do I even want this life? When the show ended, she shocked everyone by walking away from American Jewelry and Loan, the business she was born into, the empire she was supposed to inherit. Her story isn't about literal death. It's about the death of a future everyone assumed she would claim. Ashley chose her own path, building a successful jewelry brand and becoming her own boss, far from the chaos of the pawn shop. Number 9. Jeremy Jackson, the part-timer pulled into a dangerous scheme. Where Carl Bell was the heart of the scandal, Jeremy Jackson was the quiet accomplice viewers never expected. He was a part-time worker, barely noticeable on screen, just another face helping move inventory and assist customers. But behind closed doors, Jeremy was tied to the same merchandise theft ring Carl was running. Investigators found he helped steal expensive items and pawn them elsewhere, reportedly to cover gambling debts and financial struggles of his own. Jeremy was charged with felony theft, his promising future derailed by a scheme he never should have touched. His downfall shows how easily the wrong partnership can drag anyone into disaster. Sometimes tragedy isn't loud. It's the slow slide into bad decisions. Number 10. Darren McCarty, the hockey legend who reached rock bottom. Seeing a 4-time Stanley Cup champion behind a pawn counter felt surreal. Yet there was Darren McCarty, once an NHL enforcer, now inside American Jewelry and Loan, trying to pawn taxidermy animals. Les saw the moment and turned it into TV gold by offering Darren a job. But his appearance wasn't a gimmick. It was a glimpse into someone fighting through serious financial and personal struggles. McCarty didn't stay long. His life outside the shop needed rebuilding more than any TV storyline could fix. His tragedy wasn't just the fall from fame. It was how quickly a hero's life can unravel, proving that no amount of success protects anyone from hard times. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the real stories behind Hardcore Pawn, hit like, subscribe, and tap the notification bell so you never miss our next breakdown. Tell us which story shocked you the most, and share this video with someone who used to binge the show. Your support helps us dig deeper into the real lives behind reality TV.